What up, y'all? It's your boy E-Buck in the building once again. Y'all know what time it is. Time for us to talk sports like we do. About this time, this is the Guru Sports Session. And of course, you cannot have the Guru Sports Session without that dude we call the Guru himself. Let me put him in the big boy chair and let him do his thing. The one and only Hugh Lee. What's happening, Hugh?
What's good, E man? How everything going, brother?
Hey, for the most part, we just trying to stay warm. It's cold here in the D in more
Today
ways than one, but we'll talk about it.
feel like it was 40 degrees today, man. With the 13-degree, spike we had. That's how cold it has been here, man. No doubt. Remember when we was on the phone yesterday? I didn't get to the point where I was back to regular temperature, man, for like a couple hours. I was on the outside for 5 minutes.
Well, as much as we complain about our cold, it's at least something we used to. For y'all people down there in Houston and Louisiana and Texas,
We saw on TV.
y'all done woke up to some real hurt feelings this month.
And it was crazy because when you said Louisiana and we was watching it on TV in like Texas and places that we never thought it'd be snow, Alabama. My auntie them going through it down there, man.
Well, for somebody that don't believe in global warming, DT, here's how your administration starts. God help us all. But anyway, we don't think about stuff like that right now. We want to talk sports to get away from some of our problems, but in some cases, sports was the problem this week. We'll get to it, but you the man with the master plan. What we talking first?
I want to start off and talk about the Unrivaled League, man. It was something that when I was hearing about, they advertised it pretty well. I think they could have did a little better. Not complaining, but I watched the games and I actually enjoyed it. Some of our favorite players in the WNBA was on teams, man, like the Miami.
Hold on, Hugh. Not to interrupt you too much, but I think it's better if we go ahead and let the audience get an explanation for those who are not familiar exactly what the Unrivaled League is
Oh,
about,
it was a surprise, huh?
and then we'll discuss. Check it
Oh,
out.
I didn't know you
We've
had.
heard your questions about Unrivaled, so here's a quick breakdown
Oh,
of how it works
snap.
compared to the 5-on-5 structure you're used to. First, the court. Unrivaled won't use a full-size 94 by 50 basketball court, but it's not a half court either, like in most 3-on-3. Instead, games will be played on a compressed full court measuring 72 by 49.2. This smaller size creates a faster pace and plenty of scoring. Next, the game length. A standard 5-on-5 game has 4 10-minute quarters, with the winner being the team with the most points at the end. Unrivaled changes things up. The first 3 periods are 7 minutes each, followed by an untimed period where the first team to reach the winning score wins. So what's the winning score? After 3 periods, a point target is set 11 points higher than the leading team's total. For example, if the score is 51-42 after period 3, the winning score is set to 62, and the first club to hit it gets the dub. A new structure that should eliminate late game fouls and lead to some amazing walk-off winning buckets. Next is the shot clock. In 5-on-5, the shot clock is 24 seconds or 14 seconds on resets. In our 3-on-3, the full and reset shot clocks will be 18 and 12 seconds. And finally, there's free throws. In 5-on-5, the number of free throws depends on where the foul is committed. In Unrivaled, all free throw opportunities will be just 1 shot, but with a twist. If the foul was on a 2, the 1 free throw is worth 2 points. If it was on a 3, it's worth 3 points. This will limit downtime and keep the action moving. You catch all that? We'll see it all in action when the season tips off on Friday, January 17th.
And there you have it, people. A quick explanation of Unrivaled, courtesy of TikTok content creator. Thank you very much for that quick and very thorough explanation. Now, Hugh, you can explain what you were saying.
That was actually a nice little preview too, man.
I thought so.
Basically wanted to talk about, man, it was really good action, man. It was nonstop too. What I liked about it, I definitely noticed at first. I was like, man, the courts don't seem as big, and I seen like just a fast pace, man. We seen some of our favorite players, Aguma Wale and all them get down. You can still see that the animosity between her and Skylar Diggins, and then the whole situation with them being on teams, the competitiveness was still there. But yeah, it was just some really good all out basketball, man. It was something I enjoyed, and I'm glad that they made this league come to reality for us. And they have their own big three. A lot of people, good people like Steve Nash and other, people who are actually putting into that league too, man. And I think this is gonna be around for a while.
Well,
Hopefully.
the two main culprits in this thing, that would be former UConn Huskies Brianna Stewart and Afisha Collier, who basically, along with a couple other people, brainstormed this idea to have this league and for it to be what it is now. Like I said, very fast paced action. Keep in mind the way the league is set up. If you're not a good shooter, if you're not good at defending one on one, this is probably not the league for you. First of all, second of all, I think a lot of us can relate to it that played the game, but not on the highest level, because when we played in the neighborhood, we usually played 1 or 2 games. Did we not, Hugh? We played 21, or we pretty much played in the hood, and it usually was 3-on-3.
Hmm.
So that being said, we should be very familiar. Now, the major difference, of course, is that it's full court. But of course, if you go to certain people's hoods, we did play full court, much like this. It wasn't a full court because obviously you don't want to run a full court with just 3 people. So it's like they took all the little stuff that they got from the hood, enhanced it, put it in a nice little spot. Boom, you got Unrivaled League. And to be honest, it's better than the Big Three.
You on drugs? No, it is. I ain't even
Better
gonna
than the
even
Big Three,
play.
it is straight up. It's
I
even
ain't,
better than the Olympic 3-on-3, in my opinion.
I ain't even playing with you no more, man. No, that was live. Remember, man, you was like, I ain't watching yet. How many games I watched that night? I damn near watched everything till it was done. Remember, I was actually intrigued, man, and I was putting little stuff on Facebook. I really liked the concept and the way they did it, man, because the Big Three, the men's, no disrespect. You know, I always had a little gripe with that from the get go. Remember, I used to always complain about that. So, with me not complaining about this league, that just lets you know I actually enjoy what they were doing, man. It's fun basketball, very competitive too, man. And I just can't wait to see how it end up, like the championship and like the one-on-one tournaments. There's gonna be a lot of good, intriguing stuff coming up too with this.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, it's an 8-week league. All the games gonna be played in one place on this little arena that's like basically 1,000-seater, similar to how it was set up in the bubble. So far, like I said, a lot of good competitive games. Already talk of expansion, already a TV deal in the works for next year, and several of those games should be on actual national TV, like the Big Three networks. So far so good. They got a lot of corporate sponsors, which is a little different than the WNBA and its start. Because remember, when WNBA started, it was pretty much the NBA funneling money into that to keep it going. Now, based on the popularity of the WNBA, particularly the last couple years, this was like the perfect time to start rival league. And keep in mind, this is based on, unlike the Big Three, people that's currently still playing, as opposed to the Big Three, which is pretty much the people that then retired or wasn't quite as good in the league. So I'm actually curious to see how it expands. I could see a scenario where they maybe have a men's unrivaled league. I could see a scenario where they have a retiree unrivaled league for the women. That would be cool. See people like Lisa Leslie and folks like that maybe get it in. So I'm just waiting to see how it grows from there. I mean, clearly, I think it's going to be more teams next year in the league. I feel bad for Caitlin Clark to a degree because they was not only trying to get her to be in the league, but they was going to make her the highest paid player in the league and give her equity in the league. So I'm hoping she changed her mind about it. But when you got the type of money that Caitlin getting anyway, where she ain't went overseas either, don't need to no time soon. It is what it is.
I definitely would like to see her play. That's what I thought at first. Remember when we were saying that when they were asking her to get in the Big Three, Ice Cube, he wanted her to get in that league, and they was gonna pay her a decent amount of money just to join. I thought that she deferred because of this Big Three that they're doing right now, the Unrivaled League, and was really surprised that she wasn't in it. But like you said, and it's not like financially she needs the money. So
Hey, it ain't like she's not living her best life. We seen her in other spots this weekend. Again, we'll talk about that a little later.
but yeah, I definitely like what they're doing, and I like the direction it's headed in. And for the most part, I have them all on my DVR too. So whenever they come on, if I don't watch it, with our TV with the YouTube, we can just watch and see like the highlights and just kind of skim through the games. But yeah, I definitely wanted to
But,
one
but
up.
yeah, Hugh, don't try to make it seem like you special and you the only one to watch it like that. For everybody else that's wanting to check it out, again, much like all the other major leagues, that's going on, all you gotta do is hit YouTube and look up rival league highlights, and you'll get a condensed version of the game, just like they do with the NBA and WNBA and everything else. So if you ain't checked it out, by all means do so. You can even catch little bits and pieces of clips on your TikTok for those of y'all that's big TikTok fans right now.
Yeah, because I know I definitely been grateful that I didn't make the mistake and get it off of all of my networks, man. So I still get a chance to.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
I want to talk about what's going on in the NBA right now, and I want to focus on what's going to happen as far as the trade deadline. But there's so much crazy things going on right now. I don't know if you was aware. Don't you know Jimmy Butler is suspended again, man?
Yeah, that's where we got to start it, good people. Remember that saga that we talked about last week, the whole Jimmy Butler thing? Well, good friends, we got another chapter. Apparently, him and Pat Riley had another meeting. And in that meeting, Jimmy let him know, look, man, when I go back out there, I'm keeping that same energy, bruh. I ain't about to be faking like it's all to the good and we done work things out and kumbaya. You said I was salty. I'm still salty. You said I said what I said. I'm still going to say what I said. Do what you got to do. Thusly, 2 more games. Now, the thought process is why 2 more games? Because supposedly there's some deals being worked out.
Yeah.
And you about to get into that.
So a lot of stuff that's going on too. What's crazy is with the Bradley Beal, taking away his trade clause. I was thinking hopefully that give us the initiative or let us know what's going to happen as far as the trade. But then we found out what just happened too recently with Utah and them giving them the Phoenix Suns giving Utah the 2031 pick, and then they got 3 first round picks themselves. So I think they're trying to definitely gain a lot of collateral.
Well, keep in mind, it's 3 teams in the league right now that got like a stupid amount of picks for no particular reason because they really don't need them right now. You got Utah, who basically got more picks than they can throw a stick at. You got the Celtics, who obviously don't need but so many picks because they right there. You got the Knicks that got a whole bunch of picks. And then, of course, let's not even get started with the OKC Thunder, who got like pick upon pick.
It all started with Russell Westbrook, man. Them picks start to pile up him
Right.
and KD.
Between them 4 teams, they pretty much got mostly everybody's picks these next 2-3 years. So even though they don't necessarily need them, they can use them as they see fit. And that's part of what's going on. I think in the end, if the deal does go down, some of those picks going to end up going Miami's way in addition to Bradley Beal. But keep in mind, Phoenix knows that that's not Bradley's first choice. Actually, his first choice is to go to the Lakers.
Another team, he stepped up and said he wouldn't mind, waiving his trade clause for to the no trade clause was the Milwaukee Bucks.
And that's because he actually has a decent relationship with your boy Dame Dollar. But no, I think that was just a throw in. It's definitely gonna be one of them 2 teams, Lakers or the Heat.
I think that was more like a smoke and mirror thing, just so he could try to get up out of there, man. Because things just didn't mesh with him there that first year, and I just think that they just need to move on and figure out what they're going to do. Because it seems like when he was with Washington, a bad team, he always played on that level where we always thought that he can be great. But when he get on a great team, he just kind of dumbed it down and didn't play as well as we thought he would, at least to his expectations.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, rumor has it that Zion probably on his way out the door as well. Speaking of drama, he already got suspended last week. The latest is that Chicago is taking quite an interest in trying to get Zion.
That's been big too because I feel like that can probably help them out with the Zach LaVine situation. He's been having issues for a while, and we talked about how that brother just seemed like he was stranded there. He definitely wasn't happy. Remember, the team even questioned him like a couple years ago about, are you really all in and want to be with this team? Now they had an opportunity, man. They need to definitely make a move. I think Zach LaVine will fit in well over there. With the Pelicans, man. So I'm just interested in seeing what's going to happen with Zion, with this trade deadline. And you got
right now. locally, we might play a role in this. According to the rumor mill, it said that the Pistons are interested in picking up perhaps some expiring contracts or some people that basically need to get the salary done. Keep in mind, we got a whole bunch of extra money just laying around that we have not used, and they basically saying they're willing to be a third party in one of these trades, and get some extra picks and whatnot. Keeping in
Yeah,
mind that the Pistons, I believe, do not have a pick in next year's draft, so I I think that's a good move on their part.
man, I heard they were going to be aggressors too in the trade deadline. What surprised me, most times they were sellers. This year they're like, no, we ain't trying to sell anything. We trying to buy this year and try to, get that, rhythm going, because they have been playing pretty good ball. Not saying they're going to make it to the playoffs, but they're playing better than what we expected right now.
They basically on the precipice. I believe they're around the eighth or ninth seed right now. Right now,
Mhm.
all the other teams in Detroit doing their thing. You can't be the only team left out. You got to do something.
Yeah, and they've been looking exceptionally good too, man. Kay Cunningham definitely was the perfect fit here because I don't think he was getting the credit where he deserved it now, and you can see that he's been carrying the team on his back into 32 points. He averaging like 30 some odd points, man, when you see him. And what was crazy, they had like something where how they have things on like the sports pages. They had him and they had what's my man's name? Gildress, Gildress Alexander. They didn't have a picture of them, but they had both of their stats. And they said one of these players is on a contender and one of these teams is like one of the teams who's trying to, get their franchise turned around. And I think that his numbers was like right there with Shai Gilgeous Alexander's numbers too. They were like almost identical. And I was like, man, you definitely have to appreciate what he's been doing, especially now that they're seeming like they're winning right now with Bickerstaff. Man, you got to give the credit where credit is due for them to actually have a coach who bought in and they're buying into his culture too. That's where it all starts at.
Long story short, if Kay Cunningham is not an All Star this year, throw the whole team away.
Facts, man, because I feel like he definitely been stepping his game up, man, and I'm definitely happy to see him doing what he doing right now, man, because it was like long time overdue. I want to talk about too, man, as far as when it comes to like it's the NBA right now in general. What can they do right now, man, to help their ratings? Because besides Christmas, they said the ratings has plummeted, man. They talked about the when the NBA finals, they said the last like five NBA final matchups, man, that we've been watching, they said they've been the worst in 3 decades. So I'm like, damn, I kind of looked that up and kind of looked into it because I knew that they were saying that the ratings was down, but I didn't know it took a drop like that. And when it came to like the finals, how bad it plummeted. So I just think that now I don't really know what else to do. But yeah, I don't like the All Star game. I'm not going to be watching none of that, especially the new format. But it's like they need to do something. I'm not trying to say go back to the 80s or anything like that because it was a little bit more aggressive then and guys were crazy and people were getting hurt. You got more athletic guys and more hybrid dudes that are playing now, but it's just something's not clicking with the crowd, man. And I believe too one of the reasons too, man, to just think about it, they're not putting it on national TV enough for us to watch the 2, the 4, the 7s, the Channel 50, like how we used to have the Pistons games on Channel 50. They're not doing that anymore. They want to put everything on, cable and all these streaming networks, and that's one of the reasons why I think they're suffering. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, see, football is king right now, and that's part of the issue. But football does an excellent job
Of
of selling
advertising.
football. You see what I'm saying? They do an excellent job in terms of their marketing of not only the game but of its big players. So it's a reason why football's ratings are here and basketball not so much. But it's also the same reason why WNBA's ratings is here and NBA's ratings is up under that. They're not selling the game enough. They're not selling the stars of the game enough. And it's harder because the game itself often nights not a good product.
No.
I can't tell you how many times I have fell asleep this year on an NBA game. It's happened several times, and it's mainly because you get one or two types of games. You get a game where they basically are. trying to beat each other up. So it's like a defensive nightmare, and they go into the foul line 30, 40, 50, 60 times. And ain't nobody trying to see that. Or, of course, they go running gun style, and they just shoot up threes every other possession. And it's like, okay, I can shoot one farther than you can. I can shoot one even farther than you can. It's like, I know you see this dude and this dude wide open. You couldn't throw it to him. Don't nobody have no little floater no more? Can't nobody hit the little open jumper?
Remember the game?
It's hard to watch at times. It really is. Damn you, Steph Curry.
Yeah, a lot of that started with him and what's my man's Dame Dollar shooting all them crazy shots, and then now you got the kid from Atlanta Hawks, Trey Young, and it's just
I
getting
can't even blame him as much no more because we don't hardly even see Trey Young. So it's mainly them two. But yeah, they got some work to do. I mean, just like Major League's got work to do in terms of selling the game because
yeah.
their ratings going down. I mean, they were better last year, but overall, not so much.
And I like the pace of the new, clock too, man. Because we seen it before, didn't know what it was going to be about, and then they implemented in the game just not so long ago. Made the pace a little better as far as working on the pace. But yeah, they definitely got to do something in basketball because, like I said, man, for me to just say I'm not going to watch at all the All-Star games and none of that stuff. Most times you check it out, but man, even if it wasn't all that, but
I
man,
mean, it's hard because we grew up in a time where you couldn't wait to see the NBA All-Star game.
mm-hmm.
Jordan and Zeke and Patrick Ewing, them all playing on the same squad.
You
Man,
know,
I can't wait to see that. Now it's like you don't care who playing together. You don't care who playing against each other. When you do check it out for a few minutes, it's like, okay, he shot a three, he dunked. He shot a three, he dunked. Is anybody gonna play any defense today?
They don't even try.
Nah.
They don't even try. But,
I mean, even the skills competitions in the NBA All-Star game is trash.
Do you think
We got the slam dunk contest going already? We see ain't nobody worth talking about going to be in it. Why bother?
Do you think if they went ahead?
We talked about the Unrivaled League just a few minutes ago. They about to have a one-on-one tournament for the All-Star game. Winner take all, $250,000. You don't think they did that same thing in the dunk contest? $1 million to the winner? That would make it a little bit more interesting.
How much do they have as far as the dunk contest for the winner? Is it like 25,000 or something kind of low? Nothing really.
It matters not. Who in that boy?
They even got the roster for the dunk contest. I didn't know that.
They starting to work on it. Like I said, like it matters. Ain't nobody trying to watch that. The dunks born and the people in there, you ain't gonna see them no more after the dunk contest the rest of the year. They're gonna be on somebody's bench or back in the G League.
I'm not watching it anyway, so it definitely don't matter to me.
Like I said, you want to just catch the highlights, hit NBA on YouTube and just catch the highlights. That seems to be the best way to watch the whole season at this point.
I want to get into the college football championship too, and when I saw the college football championship, I looked at it at first and I was like, okay, Notre Dame trying to make something of it. But we all knew the result and what was going to happen. They even tried to put a little interesting twist on it at the end. And if they would have got a stop, there would have been a possibility that they could try to force an overtime. But that definitely ain't materialized. They got bullied after they went and scored that really tough first possession when they took off like 10 minutes on the clock. They ran it down their throat. They was running it on fourth down. And I was like, Notre Dame definitely looking like they trying to establish their dominance. But after that play and after that drive, you didn't hear nothing from them. They were quiet like crickets the rest of the game. And that's when Ohio State took over.
Why are you trying to make it sound like it was a good game? It wasn't. And we didn't expect it to be. I mean, let's be honest. We said last week that team in Columbus, and I hate even having to talk about this, but they was going to pretty much dominate them because they had the better horses, plain and simple. Notre Dame, give them credit. They had a hell of a season. They worked things out. It was a time earlier in the season where when they lost that game in Northern Illinois, people was like, trash, cheeks. They ain't going nowhere. But I said all along, as long as Notre Dame won most of their games, they was in the playoffs. It's the same for them next year. Right now, before we done play AM game, if they win at least 9 or 10 games, they will automatically be in the playoffs. It ain't even no secret. I ain't telling you nothing that you shouldn't be able to figure out for themselves. Remember, part of this is you want the best teams, and part of this is you want teams that's actually going to bring a TV audience, teams that's actually going to bring people to the stadium. Notre Dame and that team down in Columbus, they do that. It checked all the boxes. Do we get the best team winning the national championship this year? When all is said and done, we probably got the best team
Yep.
money to the about.
I definitely feel like they
I
were.
mean, when you consider what they spend in NIL money, they should have won the championship.
Spend $20 million, of course you should win.
Right. Now, the interesting thing is now the talk is, okay, for years now we've been talking the SEC is the most dominant conference in college football, but these last couple of years, been the Big Ten that done won it.
I don't think that that's actually the case for me anymore. I can't even agree with that, and I know you don't agree because when you look at it now, it's like Alabama's definitely a shell of who they used to be without Nick Saban, and then you got to look at what's going on too. Where Texas, they always get there. They kind of remind me of the Cowboys. They always get there, but then they don't just get past that hump. And then you see what happened with Georgia, how they got bullied by Notre Dame. So yeah, I don't think they're the more dominant one.
No.
I have to
I'm
definitely
afraid
say
we wrong on this one. I do not agree with you, my friend. SEC is still by far the most dominant league in college football. When you look at that overall,
I don't know if I can agree with you on that, man.
when you look at that as an overall, and you go from basically 1 to 16, 18, however many teams there is in the SEC now, if you basically had them teams play the Big Ten teams, more than likely SEC would win, I'd say 75% of them games. Yeah, I understand that we looked at the playoffs and Indiana got in, and Penn State got in, Oregon got in. Okay, Oregon, yeah, they deserve to be there. You already know how I feel about Indiana. I mean, Penn State, yeah, I got to give them a little more credit than I did. But
Got to give them a lot of credit because them dudes, man, if they didn't mess up the way they did,
But bottom line, we all know Alabama should have been in this playoff. We know SMU and Boise State didn't belong. They didn't. They did not. And Alabama already, basically, when we go into next year, it's a top 10 of teams that's already in this playoff. It shouldn't be like that, where it's already predetermined, but in my mind, it is. When you look at the Georgias, the Tennessees, the Alabamas, the Ohio State,
respect on their name.
Yeah, no, I don't. No, I don't. They ain't put no respect on ours when we won last year. Smurf them. Smurf them punk ass. Anyway, yeah, them fools. Notre Dame, Michigan, Oregon, all those teams already in the mix, okay? Mm-hmm. Basically, they get themselves out the mix when they start losing to each other. Because in the end, we got 12 teams. We know we're going to 16 eventually. We know this.
Yeah.
We already know the two best conferences in football, whether you feel like SEC is one or Big Ten is one, don't matter. It's still them two first. No doubt about that. And then you look at ACC, Big 12, and the best of the rest. So, to make it fair, yeah, they'll put in more spots. But in the end, 8 out of them 10 years in the college football playoff, your champion going to be either a Big Ten school or SEC school. Main reason, Hugh, we in the days of the NIL. Who got most of the NIL teams that got the money? SEC, Big Ten. There it is.
I definitely looked at that game too, and I was like, man.
But yeah, like I said, I watched some of it. I mean, bottom line, I hate to admit it, but again, we already know that team in Columbus keep 8 to 12 NFL ready players. So it comes as no surprise that they won.
And it was funny too that it was like all the motivation they needed was to lose to us.
And that being said, yeah, y'all the national champions, but we still beat you.
The one good thing about it too was like the icing on the cake to kind of throw a jab at anybody who's Ohio State alum or any fans. Did you see what they did this year in Raiders? They did 22 million, and we still did better than them. We did 25 million on our championship. It actually went down, and this year championship kind of plummeted, which surprised me because I thought that it was definitely going to do better numbers because of the teams who was in it.
I didn't think so because the players that's in it. Understand that several of those players on that Ohio, see, dang it, yeah. On that team from Columbus team, they'll be back next year, so they definitely do that. And
They're
a
already
lot of
saying they're going to be the champs again next year. They
that
already
they are the prohibitive favorites, and it's hard not to see it that way.
Mhm.
But in the same token, I think we could beat them again next year if that kid Underwood is who we think he is. But anyway, that's next year. Congrats to those punks. Anyway,
Well deserved.
whatever.
Yeah, man, I want to get into the NFL and the divisional rounds now, man. It was
Oh no. Wait a minute.
Would you want to go on break?
Oh, we got to go on break because we got one or two ways we can play this the rest of the show, bro. I can fake the funk and just give you basic thought A, or I can tell you how I really feel. While you decide which one you want, let's take this commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna talk them playoffs
You don't
and
got to
what I.
sugarcoat nothing to me. I'm
You
gonna
said
tell
what
her.
now?
You don't got to sugarcoat nothing to me because I'm gonna tell her how I feel.
All right then. So yeah, when we get back, y'all, it's on. Especially if you say you down with the D, it's really on. Anyway, we'll be back.
You know if I can say that right now.
Hello. It's another glorious day, my T-Steppers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comforts together because it's time to dish the key. And you're dishing it, darlings, with Big Meech.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech.
Darling.
Hold up.
All right, y'all, we are back. It is the Guru Sports Session. It is time for us to talk NFL, particularly them playoffs and some of the aftermath thereof. We back in the locker room because we got to get it in. But yeah, my friend, I've been waiting to talk about this for days now. Let's get it on.
We can start off with that too, man. We can talk about the 45-31 debacle that happened, on Saturday. If you want to start off with that, I'm definitely okay with it.
This is your show. You go first.
I looked at that and I felt like, man, like a lot of other people, I felt like Ben Johnson checked out on us from the get-go. When we found out he was going to be the new Chicago Bears coach, I wasn't surprised because, when we was playing him that game, I looked how intrigued he was that last game we played him, first and foremost. Aaron Glenn, I felt like with him and that defense, they was living on the prayer, man. We lost so many people, but that wasn't an excuse. I felt like more people from Detroit was getting too cocky of us and our success. Knowing after all them people we lost and people who got hurt, a lot of people was thinking they was going to win by 3-4 touchdowns. I said, not so fast, man. Y'all need to slow it down because this is the playoffs. The records are 0-0. It's not like we're 15-2 in the playoffs. Oh, that's thrown out the window. And we usually struggle against those quarterbacks who can run. Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, and then Jaden Daniels. So that's what I looked at. And when I seen that game, I said, okay, the defense looked bad. They out-Detroited Detroit with the physicality, and they was, we couldn't stop nobody. Jared Goff threw those picks. I can't blame it all on Goff, but then I know Goff had those games. I'd rather him had it in the regular season versus now. But what I looked at was, I said, regardless, it is what it is, man. We lost to the better, healthier team. And when it's said and done, I still feel like, man, I'm not going to be to the point where I'm mad. And I'm because that day my emotions was running high, but at the end of the day, I just said it is what it is, man. Because we didn't win the Super Bowl. We thought that we could until all those injuries hit. But at the end of the day, that's just the way it is, man. We got to move on. I'm not even tripping out about it because we still in a good spot, man. For us to have like this 3-year overhaul and doing what we're doing now, I said, well, I think that that's good. But you got to give credit to Jaden Daniels to come in that hostile environment and them punching us in the mouth for one. And not only that, the defense did their job. The offense did their job, and we had to play perfect on offense to win. And it didn't help us that my man Jared Goff was starting. Jared Goff at the wrong time of the year when we needed him not to. But with all them injuries, man, them not winning definitely didn't make me feel uncomfortable to make me feel upset. I still have my head up high because I still feel like hopefully we'll trend in the right direction. We lost Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. Hey, we just got to see. But right now, I'm looking at it like, man, with them as far as the playoff, they might be a playoff team. But how far can they go now? There's still some stuff they need to do right now. And Brad Holmes gonna have to do a little more than what he normally did these last few years. Even though I feel like he got a lot of good people in here in our building, I still feel like we got to do a little bit more. Put somebody on the opposite side of Aiden Hutchinson and get that interior a little bit more stout.
Well, I'm not going to necessarily address what we need to do. I kind of want to save all that and do that on another special episode when we talk about the aftermath. But in terms of this game and this weekend, in terms of
We just got bullied.
first off, people, I got the game, and then I got people's thoughts on the game. The game itself was what it was. I mean, understand, when you looked at the opening day for the Detroit Lions and who was on that defense as opposed to who started that playoff game, pretty much every player on the Detroit Lions starting defense did not play in that game. It was that many people we done had hurt, okay? Now, yeah, I understand. We went 15-2, something that people disrespected more than they appreciated. If you are a Lions fan, and keep in mind, I am a Lions fan since the days of Billy Sims and Al Bubba Baker, okay? For us to actually go 15-2 in and of itself was a huge accomplishment that we did not respect enough, first and foremost. Second of all, in most games, whether they be playoffs or regular season, if your team scores 31 points, more times than not, you're going to win that game. I would say maybe 80-85% of the time, you're going to win that game. You score 31 points. The problem is when you give up 45 points, more than likely you're not winning any game in the National Football League. Now, yeah, we can have a discussion on, okay, well, one of them was a pick six. That was Jared's fault. Give him that. Okay. One of them was at the end of the half. I'm not counting on that last 30 seconds. You know you're trying to make something happen at that point. Okay, then of course there was the botch special team, specialty play. Again, not Jared Goff's fault. That's the fault of that kid. And I think that's one thing we definitely learned in that game. That might be a move we need to consider after all. I have defended J-Mo for the last couple years and little knucklehead stuff he done did in game and out of game. I'm starting to think now that his maturation process ain't happening quick enough to be like, okay, it's time to pay you. Let's give you the big bucks. Yeah, you got speed upon speed upon speed, but you got to use this a little bit more.
You don't use it at all.
What I'm basically saying, good people, is that loss was a group effort, okay? For those of you that's primarily blaming Jared Goff and the ones that basically chanted his name in the Coney Island, in the streets of the D at the Red Wings game, and I was like, ain't gonna be no more Jared Goff chant. He cheats. All of that stuff. Yeah, I ain't trying to hear that. Here's why I'm not trying to hear that. Again, Lions fans since 82, legit Lions fan. Even when we sucked, still was down. Okay? Do y'all remember how many quarterbacks we done had in 40-some years? Y'all recall that? The Andre Wares, the Rodney Peets, the Klingers, the
Joey Harringtons.
Punk that just did not work out worth a damn. In these last 15 years, we done had 2 quarterbacks. Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff. Appreciate that. Do y'all remember how many suck-ass coaches we done had in the last 40 years? We are the only team I can think of in the last 40 years that when we done had a coach and got rid of said coach, and think about this, Hugh, you should know this, have any of the coaches, once they left the Lions, been hired as a head coach anywhere else in the National Football League in the last 40 years?
No.
The answer is no. And this is a league where they basically retread to the point, hell, they talking about Josh McDaniels about to be the offensive coordinator of the Patriots again. And that's what, like his 4th time now? So,
and this as a head coach.
In this league of retreads, we must be really bad if we can't even get a coach that's worth being a coach nowhere else once they leave here. So, that being said, yeah, for those of y'all crying, well, yeah, Ben Johnson, he wasn't his head in the game and blah, blah, blah. Man, look, Ben Johnson, 37 years old, he dreamed of being a head coach, okay? This is the NFL. It stands for not for long. You're going to take the best job available to you. If the best job was the Chicago Bears, whether it's a division opponent or not, and they're going to pay you $13 million whole hard cash a year to take the job, make you the 2nd highest paid coach in the league, you damn right he's going to take it. So for those of y'all salty about it, suck it up. Okay? Aaron Glenn, yeah, he going to leave. He wanted to be a head coach too. And the Jets was the team that he played for. You damn right he took that job. Be happy for these people, okay? Be happy for yourselves. We got a team worth talking about. For years, you would watch ESPN and First Take and wouldn't see nothing about no Lions. It'd be like, yeah, well, the Lions lost. Yeah, the Lions won. They didn't give a damn about us. The fact that we even get brought up in discussion, you should be happy about, okay? The fact that we got a decent quarterback. Is Jared Goff an elite quarterback? No. I'm going to be real with you. No, he's not. But he's not cheeks. He's not ass either. Will Levis, that dude's ass. Okay? People like that at quarterback suck. Okay? Jared Goff has done a very good job. Not only as the quarterback of this team, but in the community as well. I have nothing but respect for that man. Will he be the person that get us to the promised land? We shall see. But then, I ask you, good people, we got about 4 or 5 quarterbacks where it's like, yeah, I'm definitely better than Jared Goff. Are we going to get any of them anytime soon? Answer that, Hugh.
Nope.
You're damn right. You know why? Because they're making buku money where they at. You done seen the draft coming up. Would you take any of those quarterbacks, maybe with the exception of Shedeur Sanders, over Jared Goff right now?
No.
I ain't think so. I mean, you see what we got coming up these next year or two. So far from what we know of them, maybe Arch Manning. Outside of him, would you take any of them quarterbacks over Jared Goff?
You really know too many outside.
That's my point. So, good people that are Lions fans, I am very disappointed in you. And that y'all are going so ham over how we lost this game. And, oh, we ain't never going to do nothing. And now they gone. Our window is closed. It's been 3 years, okay? We done made it to the playoffs twice. After not making it for damn near 20. Except for once or twice, right quick.
Yeah.
The fact that we even relevant, the fact that we got all these young people still on the team, the fact that next year we are not going to have this many injuries next year. It just ain't plausible for that to happen 2 years in a row. Only team that got that type of luck is my UConn Lady Huskies, okay? They basically spent the last decade dealing with half the team being hurt. And that being said, they still made out pretty good in the end. So football fans, get over yourself. It's a game, good people. I'm upset. I'm mad. Yeah, for those of y'all that spent all that buku money going to that Lions game, paying $500 for park or whatnot,
You been mad too.
I'm not talking to y'all. Y'all have every right to be mad as hell. Okay, because you paid for that foolishness. But basic fan, hey, that thought on TV and it just didn't quite work out. Oh, I'm done it. Shut up. Shut up.
They was getting too cocky. And one thing I don't like now, man, is what you starting to notice is two things, E. Detroit Lion fans are starting to be top 5 of the annoying fans right now.
That's how it come off to me.
Two, they got too cocky. Remember, we was like, they ain't just gonna
Y'all starting like them cowgirls, I'm telling you. And that's a bad look.
Hype with the American team now. We the new American darlings and all this stuff, man. We just got to keep going to the basics. You know, right now, E,
I mean, think about it here. You keep up with the talking heads and whatnot. You don't see them going as ham over us losing. They wasn't tripping like that. Why we tripping?
First off, he big ups to Rex Ryan, man. He said what we saying right now, man. All them injuries and stuff. And at first, I was like, damn, Jared Goff starting at Jared Goff. But then when I looked at that defense, I said, it was plenty of opportunities, man. We just couldn't get those stops. But then, like you said,
and like I said, it wasn't just him. I mean, he ain't the person that makes the play calls.
No, it was a bad effort on everybody, man.
Like I said, it was a combination. I mean, Washington has one of the worst run defenses in the league. Why didn't we run the ball more?
Man, please.
When you see Montgomery was not quite himself, why didn't we sit his ass down and let Gibbs go back to doing what he'd been doing the last few weeks?
Pretty much. Because he was getting off, man. And then they had to throw
Vontae looked damn good in the preseason. Why didn't he get more carries? I mean, it's just little stuff like that.
Have you seen when Montgomery was out, how good Reynolds and, my man Gibbs was playing, man? So, yeah, it was just a lot of weird stuff that happened that game, man. And
it was a combination of things. Yeah. The one thing I find very interesting, though, nobody is blaming the head coach, which is unusual because keep in mind, here in the D, the 3 people that get blamed the most for anything is the head coach of the Lions or the manager of the Tigers, the goalie for the Detroit Red Wings, and whoever is the quarterback for the Lions.
Yeah, it was just like, just all there. I was like, man, at first, like I said, I was a little disappointed at first. But after that night, man, it was funny that Dan Campbell had that speech. Because remember when I texted you that morning, it was like damn near similar to what he said word for word. I said, man, I just let my emotions get the best of me at the time. But I'm all right. We suffered more.
You wasn't the only one, my friend. I had a timeline full of people on that same ish.
But after I got up that morning, I was like, man, I don't want to seem like I'm a hypocrite because we just got to respect the process, man, and just because Brad Holmes knows what's going on right now. He's already trying to gather. He need to get together.
My Lions is a good football team. I'm happy with that. Did I want us to win it all? Yeah, but y'all already know. I'm keeping it 100. Y'all can go back to the first show when we predicted everything. You know I didn't think the Lions was going to win this year. You know that. I said they was going to get to the Super Bowl. They was going to play the Chiefs. The Chiefs was going to win.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. Because
I ain't done with that. It's some other fan bases I want to talk about too, but go ahead.
You know everybody talking about right now, man. And it's like where smoke is fire, man. And when it came to that Kansas City Chiefs game, man, it was a couple of calls that pissed off Troy Aikman. And I'm like, man, Aikman, you're not supposed to show no biasness. Chill out, man. You an analyst. But he was pissed because he clearly was like, man, these are definitely not calls, man. I feel like that's affecting the game. And he was heated, man. And then, you start to hear Joe Mixon go off and D'Amico Ryans. Of course, they both got fined. And they were just saying, oh, man, it's basically them against Kansas City and the refs. And that's been one of the theories and the things that people have been saying all this season.
Now, if you go and listen to Hugh's Fine podcast, The Guru's Perspective, he basically kind of get into what I'm about to get into with some of this. Of course, we saw the Kansas City Chiefs and the Texans game. Kansas City won. They were supposed to win. Come on now. They was the better team. We all know that.
Sloppy. Look, you know what, E? We thought the Texans was going to be just right there on our level as far as, it's just as good a team up and coming.
Yeah, but then we didn't see how they played this year.
Look how sloppy they played, man. They definitely, and then, from how well they played last year, I think the expectations was too high for them, man, with some of the good picks they got.
Two things happened to the Texans, okay? One, I don't know what went on with the offensive line this year with the Texans, but it's like suddenly they couldn't block no more. My man was running for his life down there every third, fourth play. Two, the injuries. The injuries got them too.
Yeah.
Except the difference is their injuries was the ones on the offense.
Yeah.
If you got Stephon
Diggs.
Yep, and Tank, that's a whole different ball game.
Man, oh man.
Not only is that game close at that point, you probably would have messed around and won that bad boy. But you got to give credit where credit is due, okay? Mahomes is him. I know y'all hate it. But Mahomes is him. He that dude. He got the rings to prove it.
What did I tell you, though? 3 years ago, I told you this, man. I don't know if you remember, but what did I tell you?
I do not recall.
I said, let my man Patrick Mahomes start winning, and they're going to hate him. I said, all he needs is just to win a couple of championships, and they're going to find a reason to hate him. I love it because, me being a Patriots fan for so long.
And let's go there for a minute, people, because this ain't the first time we'd have heard, they cheating for him. The ref, they looking out for him. That's their boy and whatnot. The league, they want him to be the man and whatnot. Okay, to some small degree, that might be true. But when all is said and done, y'all see the play on the field, okay? Y'all see what the man do with the football. Your quarterback can't do that. That's on y'all. Mahomes does things on the NFL football field that very few quarterbacks ever have been able to do. And some of that even includes his use of the rules. If I go close to the sideline and they knock me down, I'm going to put a little extra on it because more than likely they're going to make the call because I'm Patrick Mahomes. You're going to penalize Patrick for that, for being smart and using his brain? That's part of why they pay him the big bucks. You damn right he did it.
They say if you breathe on that dude, they're going to call a penalty against you, man. So
you know what that sound like? That sound like Kobe back in the day. That sound like Jordan back in the day. That sound like Magic Johnson and Dr. J. We didn't been through this in sports for I don't know how long, okay? Y'all just going to have to understand, okay? Yeah. In every movie, there's usually a villain. And right now, the Kansas City Chiefs is the villains because they're the ones that's been winning.
I love it.
Not to mention the fact that they have other characters that y'all love to hate. Okay? I don't know what it is, but right now, either you love Travis Kelce or you hate him. And more than likely, you hate him not because he's a good player. You hate him because he's dealing with Tay-Tay. You can't wait for them to break up. You can't wait for her to make a whole nother album about this Negro, how he did her. You can't wait for all that to go on. You hate that every time he do anything on the field, they go to the box and they go Tay-Tay hugging whoever with her. You just can't stand it.
I want them to be together because if I can't have it, nobody can. Yeah, I said it, E.
Hey, it ain't like you stupid for saying that. Tay-Tay worth $1 billion and some change and counting. I love her too. Everybody want to be in that limelight. That's why you see Caitlin Clark in the box with her. You see Caitlin ain't been hanging with nobody. But you hung with Tay-Tay. She not stupid. Caitlin not stupid at all.
You got that billionaire itch. That's what she got.
You see Patrick Mahomes' wife be hanging with her. That's her bestie. She not stupid either. And Tay-Tay not stupid because that don't do nothing but help her brand. Hanging out with all the best players in football.
Everything, man.
It's all working in that favor. But long story short is, they didn't had a lot of close games, but when push came to shove, guess who won the game? Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and then the Texans.
Guess who I'm picking to win next week? Wow. Kansas City Chiefs. Guess who I'm picking to win the Super Bowl? Kansas City Chiefs. Until they don't, it is what it is.
And that's the thing right now. The Bills gonna have to prove otherwise, and then that's the whole situation. They got to prove otherwise. And speaking of the Bills, I want to talk about that game with the Bills and Lamar
Speaking of
Jackson.
some other salty fan bases, yeah, go ahead.
Man, did you hear about that? They were talking about like the death threats to Mark Andrews. What's up with that?
Dude, again, people,
That's
you know
crazy.
we love sports here. Okay, that's why we come here and talk about it every week. Some of y'all just take this way, way too serious. The man got to basically get walked to the crib because y'all salty. They got to have security. Keep in mind, the next day outside of Allen Park, it was extra security because people was threatening Jared Goff. That's just how stupid some of this gets sometimes. I understand the word fan is short for fanatic, which basically means crazy about a particular subject or thing. But come on, y'all. Y'all doing way too much.
I even heard people say after the game, "Oh man, I'm not even gonna watch no more football tonight, man."
Yes.
You know what I said?
You thought our fans was salty. Some of them Baltimore fans that lost their freaking mind. We need to trade such and such. We need to fire Harbaugh.
Did you hear about a lot
Dude.
of people saying it was Todd Monken for? I said y'all mess around and let a team like us get Todd Monken if you want, but don't be stupid, man, with that dude, man. Y'all got one of the better offensive coordinators.
And again, for those of y'all blaming Lamar for this one, come on now.
Nah.
Y'all wasn't even in that game without Lamar, okay? Without Lamar, that game was a blowout.
And he ain't used to the snow, man. When he slipped on that play, I said,
Not to mention, that was a horrible game. Both of them games on Sunday, that one and the Philly, horrible conditions to play in. Just terrible.
And I feel so bad for Andrews, though, man, because you could see he was slipping and trying to hold on to the ball. He did everything in his will.
I understand that's part of the college football as we know it, but it's almost an argument for having all football played indoors when you see games like that.
Yeah, I agree, because that game was bad, and then the Philly game was rough, man.
But yeah, the difference is in that Philly game, that played to the advantage of the Philly, because man, that dude Barkley, he ran in the snow like wasn't no snow on the ground at all.
Hey man, that dude, man, Philly's played good too on that level, man.
But yeah, let's not go there yet. Let me go back to the Ravens game. Okay, look. Yeah, Lamar, he had the fumble. I understand that. But that was him trying to make something happen, something that maybe 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the league could have did. That ain't him, okay? When you look at that game, he did play like an MVP that game, okay? The difference is Josh did as well, all right? It's sad because now what happens is Lamar Jackson becomes this decade's Peyton Manning. Remember how we talked about, Peyton just can't do it, man.
Yeah.
He get right there, and then when playoffs come, he can't do nothing with Brady. And so, same thing here. He just can't do it, man. Come to Patrick and on him, he can't do it.
He had a lot of one and dones too, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because our fan base is pissed off because this happened. It's like, look what Lamar going through, man. You got to feel for that dude.
Dude, Lamar about to pretty much be a 3-time MVP with no rings, okay? I mean, at least Jared Goff done been to a Super Bowl.
At least. Shit, he been to a conference championship, man. Lamar can't say that, man.
Lamar ain't only been to one conference championship, so, I feel real bad for that. But I really, and keep in mind, I know part of the Baltimore fan base salty because, of course, they out and Washington in, and that's a big rivalry in the DMV. Either you're a Ravens fan or you're a Commanders fan, and that's a dichotomy we don't have here. But y'all just doing way too much in terms of when your team lose and how you feel about it. Come on, man. It's just a freaking game.
Yeah, it's getting too
I'm sad that the Lions didn't win, but it wasn't the end of the world.
No,
I took my blood pressure. My blood pressure was fine. I wasn't gonna let that destroy the rest of my eating. I went and watched Saturday Night Live. By the way, if y'all had not seen that latest episode of Saturday Night Live,
man, every time Dave Chappelle on there, it's great.
Brilliant. Best episode of Saturday Night Live this season, without question.
I'm glad I got Peacock to watch it too, man. So yeah, that was really good.
Again, y'all, the beautiful thing about modern technology, if you ain't fancy like you and got Peacock, go on to that YouTube, baby. Go on to that TikTok. They got that on there.
I laughed and
That's
cried
why
that
people
whole
cried
night.
about TikTok.
I laughed that whole night, man. It was pretty good, man.
Yeah, like I said, I ain't even finished watching it the whole episode, but I'm probably gonna mess around and watch it again from the beginning. It was that good, y'all.
Yeah.
That's probably the best episode of Saturday Night Live since Eddie Murphy was on there last year.
And you know what's funny too? Besides the Eddie Murphy one, the other best episode I seen was when he was on there prior
Yeah.
to, you know.
Agreed.
And a couple of good Samuel L. Jackson ones when he was on there, you know.
Right.
It's rare, you know.
Chris Rock was on there. That wasn't a bad episode either. But yeah, it's funny how that work out that way. But yeah.
But I was definitely I felt bad for my man's Lamar, man. But like you
Yeah,
said, man,
I do.
I wanted to definitely get into that Eagles Rams game now, man. It was a
Yeah.
really good contest. And I was telling my boys, because they was like, the Eagles going to run away with it. I said, no, man, you got to definitely wait and see this play out. And then when they got that stop, man, I said, when they was driving down the field on one play, I thought that they should have called that flag. But then I was like, well, they was just letting them play, so I couldn't even trip out about the end result. But it was just good, man. And it was crazy because my man scored 4 touchdowns and over 400, damn near 500 yards in 2 games against the Rams. So like you said, that dude, Saquon Barkley, is an X factor, man. And he's definitely one of them guys. If he don't get the MVP, he's going to be definitely
I mean, he's
close.
not gonna get the MVP, but he probably should have if you really think about it.
Yeah, because it ain't
I
like
mean,
no other
Philadelphia was
running back
good
doing
with
it.
him. Without him, they basically on the precipice of going Super Bowl with him. I mean, plain and
You
simple.
know what? Think about this, E. Think about this. If they still had DeAndre Swift, man, would they be in the situation they're in right now?
Not at all. Not at all. And the thing is, yeah, people been okay. Well, Jalen Hurts did what he needed to do. I mean, you seen that dude. This ain't last year. Last year, that dude was hurt. We all know it.
Yeah.
This year, he basically riding the wave. He getting on Big Brother's back and letting him ride. Y'all seen how they was chummy over there at the sideline? Meanwhile, you also saw over there in the background, oh boy, reading that damn book again.
Hey, yo, man, stop this, man. But you know what? I think something gonna happen with that dude, man. That dude just don't seem like he right. I told you that last
I mean,
year.
well, you got to think about it. The whole reason he ended up going to Philly in the first place because him and Jalen was cool like that until they what? Something transpired.
Yeah, and then you know we're not stupid, man. Because if it wasn't really nothing there and a smoking, like you said, when there's smoke, there's fire. Why did one of the teammates, Brandon Graham, why did he say anything about it then?
And it's crazy because it seemed like in the bowels of that place, it's a whole bunch of little nitpicky type stuff going on. But when they get on the field, they seem to somehow work it all out and handle biz. That being said, I definitely want to give our former quarterback Matthew Stafford his flowers.
Absolutely.
He played a very good game. Again, people always want to talk about, well, yeah, Matthew Stafford, he's not good in the cold. I don't know where they get that from. Like he ain't never played in the cold before. Remember where he come from. Yeah, granted, the Lions have a dome stadium, but they also play in Chicago, cold. Green Bay, extra cold. He done played Cincinnati, Cleveland, cold. He done played in Philly before in the cold and the snow. I remember that last time when he was with the Lions, they played in Philly. It was snowing that game too.
When LaShawn McCoy ran all over.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he wasn't. I understand he's from Texas and all that, but no, that dude is a good quarterback. When all is said and done, I would say yeah, he is deserving of going to the Hall of Fame one day.
Agree.
Not first ballot.
No.
Not first ballot, but definitely a Hall of
They
Fame.
eventually land in there, they eventually come to his door knocking, but I don't think he'd just be like, after he retired, he right in.
No, he's not a first ballot, but he's definitely a Hall of Fame.
You got a time, I believe time would be that, but not
I still don't understand why Tom Brady, it just put him in now.
Yeah.
I mean, for certain exceptions, it should be that.
You know what surprised me that game too? How good Kyren Williams ran, but it was crazy because with the yards on the 205 yards and 2 touchdowns, it kind of eclipsed what Kyren Williams did because he kept them in that game too. But then the snow kind of made things rough. But damn, man, like all in all, man, regardless, man, like you said, I was hurt that the Lions ain't in it, man. But damn, this was a good football weekend, man.
I mean, but again, and another thing why I'm not as disappointed as most of y'all. I mean, if they would have made it and played the Eagles next week,
They would have lost.
yeah. I mean, the way our defense is shredded up, man, Saquon would have probably had about 250.
And the crazy thing
And if
is,
he didn't, then Hurts would have threw for 300-400. I mean, come on now. Because
man,
you see how bad we are against quarterbacks that can scramble. What was we going to do with Hurts?
and that's a strong dude too. It ain't like he just no running.
Right. And then I said, we somehow pulled off that miracle. Then we either got Patrick Mahomes or we got that dude again. And you remember how when we played that dude? He got
I just feel like we build it, and I think that people thought I was crazy when I said on the show too, that the year we went to that conference championship, we kind of overachieved, and that's why I think people are a little pissed off right now that we're not in the position we're in. But I believe we overachieved that year.
Right, and like I said, the owner actually came out and made a statement, letting people know that we disappointed, but we are definitely committed to keep doing what we need to do to make this team a winner. And I believe Sheila. I believe Sheila is that this is not your father's Lions organization, okay? This is not Ford Jr. or Ford Sr. When they talk, it was just, we glad y'all filled up the seats. Hopefully y'all do that again next year. No, this team actually is trying to come up and do it the right way. So
I believe in Brad Holmes too, man, with his drafting abilities, man, what he did.
yeah, but long story short is, with the exception of the one game, probably our game, the rest of the playoff games this week was pretty good.
Pretty much. And speaking of, man, if you want, we can go to a commercial or we can just go right to it, man. It ain't a lot going on, man. There's only 2 more games left,
Yeah, well, hey, let's not hold it up. Let's go.
Okay. The Washington Commanders versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
Look here, good people. I expect this to be a damn good game. Thank God it's not scheduled to snow this week. I don't want to see another snow game this year. I do not. Even though them turned out to be decent games, I hate that it come down, especially when it come down to this being the game that gets you in the game. No, I need the weather to be as decent as it possibly can be. And you got 2 quarterbacks. And look, stop talking about Jay Daniels. We did not give that brother enough credit. Okay?
No.
Let me do that now. That dude is a damn good NFL quarterback right now, year 1. Okay? Remember, this is not your typical rookie. Okay? He played 5 years of college football. Okay? He is damn near 24 years old. This is not the typical. He played in a pro-style offense at multiple schools. Okay? You saw his poise and composure. That dude was not afraid of the moment. It was not too big for him. It wasn't supposed to be. He is better prepared than most 4- and 5-year quarterbacks in this league, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see him pull a Sam Darnold, for example.
Oh, man.
That being said, I don't expect anything different this week, okay? The only difference is, though, Lions defense banged up.
Their defense is pretty much
Eagle defense, not so much, okay? They got people on that squad that can track him down and keep him in the pocket and not let him run ragged.
Like Bain, the dude they got from New Orleans, a special team specialist, man. That dude having a career year.
Like DeJean and the other rookie. I mean, they got some good people on that defense. But that being said, I expect it to be a close game.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, when they played during the regular season, they played twice, so they're very familiar with each other.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2 good games, okay? I expect no different this time around. The thing is, they can slow down him, but in the end, can Washington stop Barkley? That's what this game boiled down to. They can't stop Barkley, it's over.
Yeah, they have Philly up 6.5. I'm gonna go under, but I'm gonna go with Philly because I feel like Barkley is the X factor, and I'm gonna go like 2.5.
I'm taking Eagles by 3. I think they either win by a field goal or a touchdown.
It gonna be like they can blow them boys out,
I
man.
would be extremely surprised if it was a blowout on either end. And bottom line is, if the Commanders blow out the Eagles in this game, they about to do something we ain't ever thought was possible, and that means win it all. And I don't see that happening.
The Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. They beat them.
Baby,
0-3 in the playoffs, man. It seems like Josh be right, man. And Josh just can't get past that conference championship, it seems like, because, Patrick Mahomes is right there. It's kind of like the whole Michael Jordan when you can't get somewhere when the king is there and he waiting for you and he willing and he embraced the moment. And right now, they actually went up a little bit. It's crazy because when it came to like the actual spread, Philly went up slightly, but I think that this game went up a little bit. But then they have Kansas City by 2 points in this one. But yeah,
throw those point spreads out the window, okay? Remember, these teams did play each other in the regular season. Who won that game, Hugh?
that's the regular season, though.
I'm just saying, who won that game?
Buffalo won that game too, and on the strength of Josh Allen.
That is why you got to figure, okay, it's a chance. There is a chance it does. Remember, people, to this day, the best playoff game I've seen in a decade, outside of course, that crazy Super Bowl with New England and Atlanta, was the game between Kansas City and Buffalo.
Oh yeah,
Man,
when they went to all the
last
teams.
time they played. One of the best playoff games of all time, without question. He was basically a coin flip away from pulling it off. But remember, we talking about Kansas City, a team that has made the AFC Conference Championship game a remarkable 7 years in a row. Something that maybe the great one himself has done. And that's about it, okay? They have damn near won all of those games, as you know, with the one exception, of course, when Tom won.
Yeah, Tom wasn't letting him get past him at the time.
But that being said, we didn't see him do it too many times to doubt him at this point.
Yeah, it's like what we first say to beat him, man. You got to beat him, man.
And this is probably the best that team has looked all year. He got receivers now.
Yeah, the guys are finally healthy.
Travis Kelce finally playing like Travis Kelce. Yeah, granted, that offensive line, especially that rookie on the right tackle, I don't know what's going on with that.
Taylor, yeah, he's a liability.
I don't know what's going on with that dude, but outside of that, they look good. I mean, that defense, Chris Jones will be in the building. Kalafkis also will be in the building. Them two play very well together. Okay?
They should think about putting Joe Tunney over there by that Jawan Taylor dude. Take that spot, man, because, yeah, that dude's been
Do what you got to do. Bottom line is, I'm telling y'all now, if it's the fourth quarter and it's anywhere within a field goal and Mahomes get the ball, you already know what's going to happen. It's like when he get the ball in the fourth quarter and it's like 2 minutes, I get to hearing that music I used to hear back in the day. Sometimes I dream that he is me, like Mike. Except in the end, it's like Pat. You know what I'm saying? If it's anywhere close at the end of that game, you already know what time it is. We all do. And as football fans, you want that. You want it to go down like that. And I want him to win. I want all to be salty again because they done made the Super Bowl again. I want my family to be happy again because they team in the Super Bowl again. But that being said, if the Bills win, I ain't mad.
No.
I definitely would be happy for Superman.
You know what this kind of remind me of too, man? Not saying it's gonna materialize like that when Tom Brady just used to whoop on Peyton Manning, and then everybody expected that to be the same case, and then it ended up being totally different. But like Flair said, to be the man, you got to beat the man, and until he can prove that, man, it's
right now, Mahomes is Flair, baby.
Because it's like every time it seems like with Josh Allen get that opportunity, man, it's something that happens, and it's like he just gets shook. And I just feel like I don't think he's afraid of the moment, But in the moment, it just don't seem like he shined the way he needs to. So until he can prove he can beat Patrick Mahomes, man, yeah, this was definitely looking like it's gonna be another
I mean, because
in Kansas
I
City.
promise you, this may lead up to the biggest moment in the history of television. If we get the Chiefs and the Eagles rematch, it's gonna do big numbers. It's gonna do big numbers for three reasons: one, the rematch; two of the popular teams in the league; three, Kendrick Lamar will be in the building. Halftime show. Will he sing the song? And four, most importantly, if the Chiefs win and they go to the field and the confetti is falling and they show that dude Travis Kelce and here come Tay Tay, will he do it? Will he do it and make the most unforgettable TV moment in the last 30 years?
She gonna say no, so I don't even know why you
She will
tripping.
not say no. But
Yeah.
again, if she did, though, that would probably be the biggest TV moment of all time. That'd be up there with John F. Kennedy assassination and all of that if it went down that way. But no, even bigger still, let's just say not only does he do it, but then she be like, it's all good. And look, y'all,
Get out of here, E man. Nobody want to hear that
that'll
stuff,
be
man.
crazy. That would be crazy.
It ain't gonna happen, man. Now you want me to really go for the deal. You want me to really go
And
for
you
the
talking
deal.
about a team that got hated before, oh, they'll really hate that. It'll be on TMZ every day for about the next 90 days. But anyway, bottom line, I got Chiefs, I got Eagles.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles, but then I'm gonna go with the Bills on this one, man. Even though I know every time I gamble against Patrick Mahomes, it's just like Brady, and he proved me wrong. But yeah, I feel like Ian. This is sad for me to say this, man. If Josh can't do it now, he will never do it.
Well, they were saying that about Lamar last week. So,
And
I
you see
mean,
how that
bottom line,
ended.
like I said, it was a lot of people wanted to be Kobe, couldn't do it. A lot of people wanted to be Michael Jordan, couldn't do it. It is what it is. A lot of people wanted to be Magic and Bird, they couldn't do it. I
You
mean,
can't prove it. I ain't mad, but then I just will say
a
he
lot of
ain't
people
gonna
wanted to
never
be
do it.
Gretzky, couldn't do it. I mean, it is what it is. But okay, before we go, I know you didn't have this on the slate, but we gotta go here, bruh. We gotta show some love to the MLB because, of course, they have announced this year's incumbents into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that, Hugh?
Man, most of them dudes deserve it, man. This was the first time in a long time because you know, man, I'm a little younger than you, E. This is the
Right?
first time I knew everybody on that damn list. So yeah, I'm definitely excited, man. Definitely for Ichi. You know, I feel like a lot of them guys, man. Yeah, Ichiro, I was right. Yeah, but this
Absolutely, man.
a lot of them guys deserve it, man. And when I seen these dudes like man Bagwell and all them dudes on
Billy
this list,
Wagner, absolutely.
they deserve it, man. And I was so happy because I said about time I knew everybody. Because some of them dudes, you know, was a little bit before my time. But yeah, I'm really happy and I'm looking forward to this Hall of Fame year, man. Because I definitely am looking forward to baseball too, as well, man. You know how I get when it start getting springtime, man. I embrace that baseball season, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, man. But the one main thing I look at, man, it seems like the Dodgers gonna win that mug, and they already got a chokehold on that title this year.
I was gonna ask you if you had to pick the day who you think gonna win,
When they got Roki, I said that's it. They already had it when they got my
and
man
then added the
Blake
reliever on
Snell.
top of that. Yeah.
When they had Blake Snell, I
Keep in
said that
mind,
was it.
the only weakness Dodgers really had last year was that pitcher staff. They didn't hemmed all that up.
I think this the I don't know if they're gonna keep your man's. I think he's done now. Kershaw,
No, they say they keeping him.
they keeping him.
They actually considering a 6-man rotation. It makes sense because keep in mind that gives
Everybody
Ichiro
can be healthy.
that gives whatchamacallit a chance to do his thing. I started to call that brother Ichiro. I mean,
Oh, you talking about my man's? You know, damn.
oh my goodness.
Hope not, man. Shohei.
Shohei, there we go. Atani.
I hope that fool don't pitch, man. He gonna get hurt, man.
No, again, you
He
already know
always
my master plan, dude. Maybe do 2 more years of starting, and then be the ace, bro. Be that dude coming out the bullpen in the ninth.
And then the best part about him too, by him being like a hybrid like he is too, you can at least have him pitch 3 innings like the real fireman that we was used to back in the '80s.
Yeah, like your Raleigh Fingers and your Dan Quisenberries.
I had a DVD.
Willie Hernandez.
Man, them was the good old days. Now I just do
Absolutely.
1 inning and they be done. I definitely think this Hall of Fame gonna be nice, man. And I've been looking at a lot of the stuff going on in MLB too, but I know it ain't quite spring yet.
I do got to say this though, Hugh. I still would like for them to make that one exception. Go on and put Petey in, man.
Oh yeah, man, damn, dude,
Go
he
on, put him
passed
in.
away too. And what pissed me off too, man, and not really trying to get into sports like wrestling or anything. They put Savage in when he finally died, man. Why would it have to be like that? They should have put my man's Pete in before he passed away, man. But now he passed away, he didn't do the right thing.
I mean, and at some point, man, we just got to let the steroid people, whether you got to make some asterisks or however I got to do it. Some of them people, they deserve to be in roids or no roids.
Because Barry changed the game, man. The way it is today. The historian.
And Roger Clemens, that dude a Hall of Famer, roids or no roids.
One of the better pitchers, man.
Right. Rafael Palmeiro, I mean, some of them people, they need to be in. Hell, even Mark McGwire.
Yeah.
He was a power hitter before he was a power hitter.
They elevated the game the way it was played. Because remember, at one point in the steroid era, that was the best baseball we had. So, yeah, I mean, come on, y'all. Y'all acting like y'all gonna take that from the history books. Y'all can never take that away. Because I remember I stopped watching baseball for a minute because the game just got real bad. And then when the steroid era came, man, that changed everything.
Right. And, and I think that's part of why the game ain't really rebounded since, because they done penalized those dudes as much as they have. And people felt some type of way about it.
He hit baseball hard too, man. It's still because, like you said, last year was one of the really good seasons, and it just ain't getting the credit it deserved because a lot of people still ain't too happy about the way things ended up, man.
That part.
Well, that's all I got to say, man. Anything you need to add on, man, before we get off?
As always, y'all, we will keep y'all posted on our little other platforms. I'm actually gonna start to do the Big Buck Sports Report on TikTok because I figured out a way to where it pretty much works out better for me doing it that way. I can do a little 10-minute here, 10-minute there, and spread it out. So if you're looking for Big Buck Sports Report, we will now be doing those on TikTok, and you may also find them on the Lemonade app because I'm going to utilize that, seeing we don't quite know what's going to happen with the TikTok, and they kind of very similar in terms of that. Not to mention, you pretty much push a button, and you can share them to both apps. So, yeah, we'll be doing some stuff over there on Lemonade. That's LEMON 8.
When I had my debacle at first, when I started to panic a little bit, I actually already signed up for Lemonade. Thank God I still had it on 2 of my platforms. But yeah, man, of course, we do the show every Wednesday, man. The Guru Sports Session. Tuesdays, I do the Guru Perspective. You can catch me on Hoovy on Instagram. And now I just only focus on our platform. None of the reels or anything on there. I do some of the reels still as far as on TikTok for the time being, Hugh.Lee6. And then on Facebook, Sports Guru to you. And if you have any questions or anything you want me to add and, anything you suggest, I can definitely take that on. My Gmail account is sportsguru2you@gmail.com.
And, of course, you can find me on TikTok as eBuck, Night Network Word, I believe. But eBuck, it pretty much pop up like that. And then, like I said, we still looking at other platforms to add as well where it makes sense, because we don't do little snippets here and whatnot. And, it's some ideas still in the network we kind of want to work through. So we will do that. But, yeah, that's pretty much what I got for this week, my brother. Stay warm over there.
Yes, sir. Likewise.
Indeed. So that being said, good people, enjoy y'all week. Stay warm where you at, too. We'll be back next time with another brilliant episode of this show we call the Guru Sports Session. You know what to do, Hugh. Throw 'em up, baby. We up out of here. Peace.